Hi, everybody. Mark with the North Florida Bicycle Club. And if you've been on one of our group rides, you have certainly heard the phrase that we want you to ride predictably and to communicate intentions. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit today, but I'm going to talk about from the perspective of drivers, not other riders, although a lot of it applies to the riders as well. Now, I'll bet when you've been out on the road, you've seen an idiot before. I'll tell you, a little over a year ago, I had the opportunity to ride with a gentleman who was riding around the world on a single speed bike unsupported. John Pretzel and I rode up with him from Volano Beach to Jacksonville Beach. And one of the questions I asked him is, how do you deal with the idiots or the a-holes that are out there? And he said, when that happens, he starts counting. Well, that car was good. That car was good. That car did all right. And pretty soon he's got 100 cars that were courteous of him versus the one that was an idiot, and he comes to realize that almost everybody's really good. So this is really true. Most drivers care. There are absolutely some idiots out there, but the vast majority of drivers care. So I want to ride in a way that I am communicating with them because they want me to be safe. They don't want to cause any issues, but sometimes they don't know what it is that I'm going to do. So here are some tips. Number one, hold your hand signals. Now, first of all, Florida law actually requires that you're supposed to be holding your hand signal, whatever it is, all the way through your turn, unless you can't do that safely. But I see a lot of people, they'll point, they'll do like this, they'll just do it for a second or two. That's generally not enough. Unless that driver is looking right at you, or other riders for that matter, they may not know it is what you want. So try and make your signals really obvious. Hold them for as long as you can to make sure that everybody is aware of what it is that you want to do. Next, by the same token, hold your line. And what I mean by that is try and not be riding all over the place. I'll be on A1A sometimes and I'll see people move from the far right side and they'll cross over the white line, they'll come back in, thinking, well, there's no cars coming, it doesn't matter. But the cars behind you, that does matter. Think about when you are in your car and you're driving through the neighborhood and you've got some little kids riding their bike in front of you. If you're like me, you slow down about 5 miles an hour because you have no idea what those kids are going to do. So try and hold your line and not be drifting over that fog line so that people know that you're going to be going straight. Next, look over your shoulder. Now, I'm guilty of this because I use a mirror so I can see behind me, but the purpose of looking over your shoulder also sends a message to the riders in the car that you're doing something. You're looking to see if something's there, and it's a subtle clue that I'm going to be pulling out of the line, I'm going to be making a left-hand turn or whatnot. But when you do that look over your shoulder, that is sending a message to people. And finally, where you ride on the road sends a message to cars for what they should do. Now, the farther over to the right you are, the less visible you are to the cars. And of course, the farther to the left, the more visible, but sometimes you're right in the middle of the road, which may or may not be a good idea. But a lot of times I see we're on a narrow road and people will be riding, I think, too far to the right. Because the message that is sending cars is, there's plenty of room for you to get by me. If there is, that's great. If you're in a bike line or bike lane, there is plenty of room for them. But if you're on a shoulder or there's no shoulder at all, sometimes there's not enough room. And cars don't do a good job of estimating what 3 feet is when the driver sits on this side and the bike is over here and they've got their mirror. So they find out all of a sudden they're talking, oh my gosh, I'm really close. You want to get out a little bit so they're aware that, hey, I'm going to have to go around this bike. There's not room otherwise. So look at where you ride in the lane as well. And again, I think most drivers really care, and it's our job to help them know what we're going to do.